2 months after devastating floods, Greenvale residents are still not back to normal. When our TTT News crew of Wason and Rodney David visited the Horquetta community, residents were still doing repairs as they complained of shoddy work by contractors.
It's been just over 2 months, but Greenvale residents are still recovering from that fateful night on October 21st, when the flood waters ravaged their homes, causing millions of dollars in damage. Some residents have not returned to their apartments, while some are still engaged in reconstruction. That too is presenting problems for them. In fact, Thaddeus Caraballo says that is an issue in itself.
Well, the contractors, they are very slow. They're doing not so good work. 1 minute they would show up, 1 minute they're not showing up. Persons would take like days off, and the days off that they take, the workers not showing up. So it's just a lot of wasted days, wasted money.
He says he understands that the Housing Development Corporation has taken up the cost for repairs, but he prefers to put out from his own pocket, as the works done by the contractors just doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah, well, almost all the houses in here, and most of the houses I know of in Greenvale, persons have opted to do the kitchen counters in concrete, because the sad thing is that we actually expecting here to be flooded again, because you haven't seen any remedial work. You know, there isn't any definite plan as to what action persons in charge taking.
Daniel Wilson is another resident who has been struggling with the contractors. She says she is having issues communicating with them. Ms. Wilson says she hired her own contractors to provide concrete cupboards, since the HDC contractors only provided woodworks.
I also asked about the tiling work. There's a lot of Venezuelan here. I don't speak Spanish. I don't understand what they are saying. One instance I was asking about the stairs, if they are tiling the stairs. He said, yes, we're going to sweep it. And I'm like, I asked if you're going to tile the stairs. You understand? And he didn't understand what I was saying. Likewise, he spoke in Spanish. That was it.
Many residents were forced to skip the holidays this year, but are hoping 2019 will be better. Wason, TTT News.
The HDC has apologized to the Greenvale residents, stating they will treat the contractors or with contractors who provide substandard work accordingly. The HDC maintains they intend to ensure that every affected house receives the requisite attention and the work is completed as soon as possible. The Greenvale residents were also concerned that debris from the repair work by contractors have not been collected, leaving an eyesore. One resident questioned the lack of representation from the local government representative.
In terms of local government, Greenvale doesn't exist in terms of local government. We haven't had a representative here since the existence of Greenvale. So we don't belong to a corporation, right? With respect to the debris, the owner should be on agency and its contractors.
When CNews contacted Paul Leacock, chairman of the Tunapuna-Piarco Regional Corporation, the corporation which Greenvale falls under, he explained Greenvale is supported by 2 councillors. According to Mr. Leacock, Greenvale, like other HDC communities, has its own garbage collection arrangement. He added the debris from the flood has long been removed, and it is the contractor's responsibility to clean up after their own work. And as many reflect on the year gone by in preparation for the one to come, the Greenvale flood still resonates in their minds. Fireman Christopher Jagasa, who rescued a few of his neighbors that night, shared with TTT News his thoughts as he remembered the flood.
The situation with the flood it still resonates in my mind, and just remembering it, how it was very stressful. And being in this state, in recovery and all of these things and whatnot, is very slow to recover back to a state of mind which you might never reach as it was in terms of peace, and also the mere fact that you could see that there's work being done continuously.
Mr. Jagasta still sees the positives in the recovery, even though it may seem to be slow in coming.